August the 5th, 2022. Guys, you're looking at a map, and this is the Colorado River Basin, and you're looking at the top half of it. The section that's in gold, that includes Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, parts of New Mexico, the northern tips of Arizona. It's called the Upper Colorado River Basin, and that's fed by two rivers, the Green River coming out of Wyoming and the Colorado River, of course, coming out of Colorado. Now, if we scroll the map down into this Mohave section, which includes Phoenix, Tucson, Vegas, California here, parts of New Mexico. This is the lower Colorado River Basin. And you've got, I think our population here is quite a bit larger than the upper river basin. We'll talk about it all. But guys, we got a husky here wanting something. Give me a minute. That's our blind husky Booger with the blue eyes. He heard me talking and had to come in here and give his 2 cents. Anyway, we're going to be dealing with a lot of this. It's going to be a couple videos, but a lot of them will be dealing with the lower basin because we've got so many people in this area. They're up to 40 million people. Yes, Booger, I hear you. Excuse me, guys. He wants to talk. Hold on. He just wants me to rub his head. Guys, these puppies that you've seen, they're now at 60+ pounds each, both Booger and Bandit. And Rocket, he's getting about 75 pounds. All of them are really cool dogs. They just demand 24/7 attention. You know how that is. But they're quite a blessing at the same time. And in the video from yesterday, I don't remember the name of the lady that came on there, but said a little prayer. She had lost one of her huskies. They had bolted from the gate, female, and they were hoping she would come back. So if you're listening to this video, that concerns me because I love these dogs. I love all animals. But let us know in these comments if your husky came back. Thank you. But guys, I didn't mean to drift off there, but I've thought about that since last night when I saw that comment. I know how I would feel. So here we go. Again, we'll concentrate on the lower Colorado River Basin, but let's start at the top, just kind of give you an idea of what we're dealing with. This map in the left corner, it shows the 7 states involved: Wyoming, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, very tip of southeastern California, Arizona, New Mexico. These are the areas that the Colorado River and the Green River combining and other rivers affect, not only with water supply, but hydroelectrical supply. So in Wyoming, the Fontenelle Dam is on the Green River. It comes down to the Flaming Gorge River that's on the Wyoming and Colorado border, or Utah border, excuse me. Then the Green River comes down into Utah and joins the Colorado River below Grand Junction. Booger, I know you want to talk. I'm sorry, guys. He's just that kind of dog. Anyway. Below Grand Junction, you got the Colorado River, the Green River combining, and this goes down into Glen Canyon Dam. This is Lake Powell. From there, we go into the Colorado River area, through, again, coming out of Glen Canyon into the Grand Canyon here. I've been along the river here in this area. Comes down to Lake Mead at Hoover Dam from there. Here's Vegas. Now, Vegas has they're pretty much dependent totally on Lake Mead. Some of the other areas, you've got multiple supplies, but again, the Colorado River is the main thing. Out of the Hoover Dam, coming down to Davis Dam, this is Mohave, Lake Mohave, Parker Dam, and Lake Havasu. And so what we're going to deal with in this video is Glen Canyon Dam, Hoover Dam, Davis Dam, Parker Dam, because there's so many people below there. When you get further south, you go into Imperial Dam, and this is where the Gila River coming out of Phoenix, comes down, and they both combine, come into the Colorado River here, and this was a great delta at one time, guys. Millions and millions of shells were found there. We talked about that. So what we're dealing with is in 10 days, September 15th, the feds have given the people that control this waterway and these dams to balance everything themselves, or the feds are going to take over. More than likely, it will be the Bureau of Reclamation. So they're kind of scrambling now to do that. Why? Because when you're dealing with anything like these bureaus and the different dam associations and all that, guys, it's just like the lobbyists in D.C. Money is being passed in order to achieve certain objectives. Is it a new hotel, a new multi-million-dollar housing section, suburb? What is it? And so when you're starting to get down to this, you're going to see a battle between the dams. In other words, of course, Glen Canyon Dam at Lake Powell is key. Hoover Dam is key to Vegas. Now, one of the things that, of the reports that are coming out today, and I saw this on Vegas D-Tech's channel over with Joey, is that Glen Canyon now, because of what we're seeing, 10 days left to balance things out, are saying they may not be able to get much water down to Lake Mead. Why? They're saying there's clogging of the pipes and of the older pipes up on Glen Canyon. And I remember that years ago they were talking about sediment buildup there and clogging some of the pipes. But we don't know if that's the real thing or not. They're saying it's going to limit the amount of outflow. It hasn't yet, technically, but they may not be able to balance everything out. And here's what's going to happen. As you go from north to south on this map, water wars are going to start. Technically, they have started. People are scrambling right now. When you go down into California, guys, you've got hay fields and oat fields and for cattle feed that it's watered with Colorado River water, fertilized, everything there, but it all goes to Asia, Japan, and other countries. The water that people are about to be having to migrate east because of the lack of the water, it's being used by overseas companies, much like farmlands being bought up here. Makes you really, I don't wonder anymore about what the politicians are thinking. We know. It's complete destruction of everything as we know it to bring about the Great Reset. Anyway, the water wars and the panic is starting to come in. Glen Canyon, again, just come out with the report. I think it was yesterday. They may have problems. So they're going to protect their area there, and again, at the southern border of Utah, the land behind it. Then, of course, Hoover Dam is going to be influenced heavily by the casinos, the housings, the big, huge builders there to try to save as much water coming down from Hoover Dam here in the left, here's Vegas, down to Davis Dam and Mohave and Lake Havasu. They've done a pretty good job, the lower two lakes, but they're cutting their inflow and outflow pretty good in trying to keep that balance. But I think the wars are going to start at Glen Canyon, end up in Hoover very quickly. But Vegas, guys, they are still getting permits and building these huge multi-million-dollar homes. And to get those permits, they have to have a piece of paper that says that Vegas can supply them with up to 20 years of water. I guess that would cover a good bit of the mortgage on the house. But most of them don't even have the water there yet. Think about that. And, you know, they're saying the love of money, not money, but the love of money is the root of all evil. And look the amount of people this is affecting. And if you've seen D-Tech over there, Las Vegas D-Tech or Vegas D-Tech with Joey, he's showing you a lot of the waste in the fountains and Lake Las Vegas and things like that. And now with the new report, Vegas and some of the areas are going to start recycling not gray water, but sewer water right back into the system, back into Lake Mead, back into the system, reused, recontaminated. So Lake Mead will not be the pristine lake that you know now, even though it's very small. But we are seeing in some of the videos at Mead that the water's going from blue to green, and the lower water heat level, getting the algae blooms up, and any contaminants coming in there. But again, we're going to look at water wars, and it's going to be I think, great battles. Think of this. Hoover Dam at Vegas. Half the dam is in Arizona, half of it's in Vegas, right? Or in Nevada. Half of or not half, I think it's a little uneven split, but your turbines, some of them are for Arizona, the hydroelectric turbines, some of them are for Nevada. So will there be, if Nevada ends up with that bottom straw, remember they have the lowest pipe in the Lake Mead. When all the other pipes that feed water downstream are gone, one of them already is, they're using the middle one. They, when that one's gone, when that middle straw is gone, the only one left is going to Vegas. Now, what will Arizona do? Will they come up to the Hoover Dam and demand another pipe be cut or section of through the section of the dam? What will occur there? The dams, once they go to dead pool, guys, will be obsolete in our lifetime, because it doesn't look like they're going to be able to refill in our lifetime. So once it becomes dead pool, nothing's going to move down past that, especially with the bottom straw of Hoover Dam going into Vegas. So what will happen? Who knows? Will these wars go kinetic for this water? More than likely they will. Now, there's a rush right now because you're looking at a lot of red states to balance out this document in the next 10 days. Now, this is Lake Powell. We'll start at the very top of the lower Colorado River Basin. It is at 403.7 feet at the dam. It is at, 17.63 feet down this year, and it is 164.3 feet below full pool. The elevation there is at 3,700 feet. By content, Lake Powell is 25% full. Now again, these links are going to be at the bottom of the video. There will be 4. And so this is very important because you're going to see where the shortages are going to occur first, where the conflicts and the battles occur, and it will become political very quickly. Now, right now, the inflow from above Lake Powell, this is yesterday, Thursday, it's down 1.54 feet over 14 days. I've seen Mead around that. I have seen it hit very close to 3 feet. But you're looking at about, if you stayed at 1.54 feet, you'd be 3 feet a month right over these 2-week periods. But that changes very quickly, just depending on what we're going to look at here. Inflow and outflow. Right now, they're getting 6,250 cubic feet per second from upriver, from the Colorado and the Green River. But their outflow is double that, right here at 12,505, headed down to Lake Mead. Now, just go back a week. There were 7,435 feet. So you're down about 80 feet, cubic feet per second, on the inflow. But the inflow here was 10,422. Now, let's go and remember we had some rain in this area, and we had floods in Vegas down below that. And the output here was lower. And here, 9.6, 9.2, a little bit lower here. And that's where it starts to build up. But right now, the inflow is half of the outflow for you guys at the Lake Powell area. Now, let's move 350 miles down the river, by river miles, not a straight line, into Lake Mead, just to the east of Vegas. Lake Mead is at 178.6 feet below full pool. By content, Lake Mead is 27.21% full, 25 on Powell, just a little less there. Lake Mead is down 26.88 feet from 1 year ago. Lake Mead is up 0.35 feet from the low for water year. Why? Because they are starting to limit their output to try to prepare for this 10-day move by the feds. Each of these 4 charts are all set up the same. You scroll down from that chart and you're going to look at the last 14 days. Inflow at Mead. Why is it starting to balance out just a little bit? Notice yesterday it was up 0.16 of a foot. Started out 14 days ago at 10,040. Then it went up to 1072, or the averages was 1040.76. Friday, July 22nd was 1040.72, 1040.93. This one has went up. Why? It's just the opposite. Look at the outflow. Let's see. Here, 7,730 cubic feet per second, but the inflow is doubled. Check that out, 154. So that's going to give you this plus 16. And if you go back down to on Friday, July 29th, in this area is when it started registering that flood that run into the casino. So there was some effect there, a positive effect. But if you look at the bottom, 14 days ago, we were almost balanced. The inflow was only 70 cubic feet per second higher than the outflow right here. 1377 coming in, 13.7 going out. Just you had a very small positive there. More coming in than going out on the days. Look at going above here. Right here you had a little more going out. Most of the days they're lowering that outflow to the right and taking advantage of the inflow. Now, moving downriver to Lake Mohave, it is up 1.01 feet from 1 year ago. How did they do it? The same way. Notice also it is 2.33 feet below full pool. Not very much at all. By content, Lake Mohave is 96.41% of full pool. Think about that. That is a pretty balanced inflow and outflow rate. All of this is about to change, I'm afraid. Now, again, the last 14 days, they've got Lake Mohave kind of stretched out, guys. It's a little harder to read, but you've got a plus 0.59 foot, a little over half a foot over these 14 days increase, okay? So your inflow on yesterday, Thursday, August 4th, inflow was 1270, 12,700 cubic feet per second, but your outflow was 2,300 feet below that at 10.4. So you got more water coming in than going out. That's how you have to do it. But again, that's all going to be affected by what's coming from upstream. As that goes down, then Mojave's going to have to lower the water that's drifting down to Lake Havasu. You understand? But Havasu's in not that bad a shape either. But you're starting out here. Let's go back 14 days. The inflow was 14,900. Outflow 12,000. You see, almost every day, not every day, but you had more inflow than outflow. They probably, right here when you're seeing a couple days, like your outflow was greater, say at 12 here, you got 11.7 coming in, 12,000 going out. They're trying to balance out a little down to Havasu. You got farmers, you got every hand in the pot you can imagine reaching in for their share. And Vegas, when you think about Mead and it's down to 27%, I think only about 3% of Mead is actually allotted for the Vegas area. So when that bottom straw starts sucking in down there, there's going to be incredible conflict at the Hoover Dam between Arizona and Nevada. But I think that's why it's going to be taken out of the hands of the states. And that's where every time big government takes control of everything, it starts going downhill very quickly. But again, you've got your inflow is greater than your outflow. Has been doing this for quite a while. Now let's go on down to Lake Havasu, guys. Lake Havasu is 72 feet below, or 0.72 feet, below full pool. 97.68% of full pool. Same things happening there. Very balanced situation. Last 14 days there, you've got a plus of 0.67 feet increase. Let's look at why. You started out on Friday, July 22nd, Friday before last. Inflow at 1180, outflow at 1190. So slightly more than the output there. But look what's happened in 2 weeks. Inflow is 8,610. Why? Mead's cutting back. Look at that. 11,800 coming in, cubic feet per second. 2 weeks ago, 8.6. But look what's going out, guys. Was going out. So below Havasu, get ready for trouble. 11.8 coming in, 11.9 going out. 2 weeks later, yesterday, 8.610 coming in, but 3,200 going out. 60% decrease in 2 weeks of the outflow. Also notice just how quickly this is happening. Just the day before, on Wednesday, August 3rd, right here, you were at 7,320 cubic feet per second going out. Cut in half there. Check that out. But look, between 11.9 and 3,200 output, that's quite a bit of difference. They're trying to balance their lake levels because of this Fed mandate again on August 15th. But that's quite a drop that's going out. So you guys below Havasu, I'm sure you're noticing it, and I would like to hear more about that. Now, let's go back to our map we started this from, and this is the upper Colorado River Basin. So when the folks in the Fontenelle Dam area coming out of the Green River down to Flaming Gorge Dam area, when they start seeing the pinch, remember all of these states are in the drought map, the hard drought map of the U.S. Remember that. They're going to start shutting down these dams. What's that going to do to the flow where? Glen Canyon, Hoover, Davis Dam, and then Parker Dam. What goes below that down to Imperial Dam, where the Gila River meets the Colorado River. And guys, this is a pretty pitiful flow if it's even much of it reaching at all down below there. So Phoenix, you've got a huge population and there's going to be problems. You do have some alternative sources for some water. But at many of these dams, guys, if you'll go in there and you'll type in Glen Canyon Dam, Hoover Dam, Davis, Parker Dam, back up and look at how much electricity and transformer fields, these big power grid fields, are around this area. You'll see that it's not just drinking water, but it is also hydroelectric. And so Phoenix, even with you're at a crossroads of some different water supplies, you still have the hydroelectric. I know there's a lot of solar powers in that area, a lot of the housing, and I've been on Luke Air Force Base a dozen times, that a lot of that is solar, and it's being fed back into the grid. But there are different groups there that are working on this, and a lot of these cities now are starting to pull up the grass and go back to a desert environment of sand and cactus and things like that, which is really what it's supposed to be anyway. So a lot of this destruction is because of the greed and the love of money from the developers, the different lawyers involved that are getting paid, things like that, the lobbyists. That's the greed that is pulling down a lot of the entire world. And it's just when you keep building and your water source is finite, but your building is infinite, it's just a very negative thing. But they're talking about here 2 trillion shells at the mouth of the Colorado River. This is from the Bureau of Land Reclamation going back to 1059 when they were looking at this area. The Native Americans lived along this, the Spanish people, all along this area. Plenty of water for everything they needed. Again, the Verde River, I've been there up at Camp Verde, and you see the river running along Montezuma's Castle. All of that was when life was as it was meant to be for this desert area. It just can't handle the folks. And that's why so many are moving. Most of the movement, though, right now from California is because of the politics. And it's just gotten worse and worse, and the lockdowns, everything else, the shipping, the shipping harbors, all of that are really just everything that can be done to California to destroy it's being done. The truckers union is in big trouble there. They don't want any independent truckers, which makes up, I think, probably 70% of their truckers. People come into the large ports there and haul this stuff out. They want them to unionize or get out. And so they've had some strikes there. It's just an all-around attack in every direction. And so they'd be able to satisfy the Bureau of Reclamation, Land Reclamation within 10 days. I don't think if you perfectly balanced every dam that they would be satisfied until they get to take over everything and have a say-so over all of it. So be prepared for that, okay? Remember, when the water gets down, you're either going to leave or you're going to die. What are the 3 rules of when you have a major change in your environment? You adapt, migrate, or die. You cannot adapt to no water. So what are your plans? You have to be thinking this far ahead when we see the situation that I just showed you with the daily water levels of each dam. And if you can't see that manipulation in their effort to make it look balanced, I guess to get the feds off their back and everything else, so that these individual land developers and city developers and casino developers they can run amok. But again, lobbyists from them make it all the way to D.C. Guys, we're watching it. You watch it. Pay attention. By the way, they still have a few of the Alexa Pure Water filters. Go to BP Earthwatch now. $199. They've already changed them back to $269 on their website, but we still have the $199 special with free shipping. Get it, guys. 5,000 gallons of water with each filter. That's if you can get the gallons for $1 a piece. That's a truckload at $5,000. 5,000 gallons. Then that's for $199. That's the tank, the filter. Then when you have to just replace the filter after 5,000 gallons, which is a hell of a lot of water, you're only at $85. So that $200 for 5,000 goes to $85 for 5,000 gallons. Get it, guys. You're going to need it. It's a heads up. Be safe.